You're watching F5. We're at GovWare 2023. It might not look like that because we're in a very blank-looking room right now, but we grabbed a meeting room so that we can do a very special event here with my friend Chin. Chin, can you introduce yourself for those who might not know who you are?
Sure. My name is Chin. I part of the F5 ASEAN team, taking care of business development in ASEAN.
Fantastic. Chin's a local legend. When I come here to GovWare, Chin knows everybody here, so it's great to be able to have Chin around. And one of the things that Chin knows a lot about, it seems like, is kaya toast, because last year I was told about kaya toast, so one of the foods that I should have tried. Chin kindly went out, grabbed some jam for me, and however, if you were following along last year, you might have noticed that I wasn't able to bring that with me in my carry-on bag. So my mission was to come back to GovWare and try some kaya toast. So not sponsored, but we've got some kaya toast from Toastbox that we're going to try out just while we chat about what's happened over the last year as well here in Singapore. And I've also got a special drink as well.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell me about this.
Yeah, Yin Yang is a special drink here. There's a mix of tea and coffee.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. And we've got our friends here, the Frankenstacks.
Yeah.
These ones have labeling to them as well, perhaps? Or I see encryption.
Yes.
there.
This is a security building block, and then this is a modern app building block. So we feel strongly about architecture, in terms of our go-to-market. We wanted to show to our customers you need all these building blocks to be ready so that you can scale, right, for the day two operations. Yeah.
Exactly. And everybody's environment looks different. So we have different looking Frankenstacks here. And if you go to any of our major events like GovWare, we seem to be having the Frankenstacks as little giveaways there. So please do come by. If you're watching this and it's still GovWare week, come on by, but otherwise look out for our other events and you'll see these as well. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to take and what was this called again?
Yin Yang.
Yin Yang?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this out.
I'll take my kopio.
Oh, this is nice. It's a nice, it's a nice like tea
and coffee.
milkish. Yeah. That's good. Okay, cool. Now what can you tell me about kaya toast?
Oh, kaya toast is our local delicacy.
Yeah?
We eat it during breakfast.
Okay.
It can be eaten at night as well, but most of the time it's breakfast.
Yeah.
It's basically toasted bread. In between, we've got a piece of margarine, and the most important ingredient is the coconut jam. Yeah, and it tastes wonderful.
Nice.
Take a bite. Can you remind you of the year ago, what you tasted?
Yeah, this is really good. I like the coconut on toast. This is perfect, actually. I really like this. So now I'm going to have to find this at home, and I bet my kids are going to eat this up when I get it for them. They're big fans of Nutella.
Oh yeah.
Actually, do you guys have a lot of Nutella
Of
here?
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love Nutella spread. I think they'll like this as well. So fantastic. Okay, so we're not here just to talk about kaya toast, but we have now conquered that challenge in that I've gotten my kaya toast this year. But since you know everybody and everything about the Singapore market and other parts of Asia Pacific as well, I thought maybe you'd give us an update on what's transpired over the last year, what kind of differences you've seen in the industry.
Yeah, sure. I think from last year, GovWare, this year, this is our second day now, we're running the event at our booth. I'm seeing a lot of traction. I think three key things I see sticking out. Number one is API awareness.
Yeah.
I think last year when we did it, our customers were just kind of finding out API and all that. But this year, they're coming to the booth and say, I want to know about API security. So the awareness has reached a certain stage where they are looking for a solution. So I think we are here at the right time to showcase in GovWare. The second thing I think I saw was around zero trust. Our customers are all implementing some sort of zero trust, whether it's SSE kind of remote access, employee, or customer kind of applications. And I think we have a very strong play there as well with our distributed cloud, multi-cloud networking, App Connect, that kind of stuff. So I see that interest is big, and we got partners like NTT and NCS helping us to promote that message as well. The third one I see is AI.
So interesting.
I mean, last year we did a bit of AI at the edge, right, with video analytics. I think with this year it's becoming real, as in we are seeing customers asking for it to be implemented, at their remote sites, at their branches, at their retail outlets, and so on. So I think we're starting to see that getting more mature. And again, distributed cloud plays a very important role
Absolutely.
in making that happen.
Yeah. I guess the use cases are real now, right? Like the hardware has been real. I think the prices have come down. GPUs are starting to get a little bit easier to obtain at this point, although I think that kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
But the use cases are really there now.
Oh yeah. I think thanks to some of the incidents like Korea, there was a crowd control issue where there were deaths and all that. So now people counting seems to be quite an important public safety concern.
Yeah.
And then if you think about customer service, it's like how many people are queuing up for to buy, let's say, coffee, and that I think our customers want to be able to find out in real time whether they need to beef up on their customer service because of people we are waiting for a long time.
Yeah, that really, that's a great use case in itself. Like I think about business intelligence and the applications that are producing business intelligence based on sales metrics and marketing data and putting that all together. But a lot of that stuff is still not necessarily real time. And that example there is like a real time decision that can be made using AI because the processing power is there at the edge.
Exactly. Yeah. And our customers have many cameras that they need to feed in, and it doesn't make sense to send the video feed all the way to AWS or Azure, right? You need to localize it and process it at the edge. That's where we come in. We give them GPU as a service at the edge.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned the partners too. Like what I've noticed about, we've talked about this before, is that at least in the Singapore market here and all over Asia Pacific as well, I know there's other examples we don't get into right away, but go-to-market wise, you guys have been really strong with the partners like NTT that we've talked to. They're ready to go with some of these solutions and we'll put it out there. I've seen other markets where they kind of wait for us to push it towards them, but it seems like this is very hand in hand with partners like that.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have NTT as a strategic partner, and today in an interview you can see them going to market with API assessment. So API assessment is something non-intrusive that they are providing to their customers to just help them to discover APIs. And that's where F5 Distributed Cloud comes in so nicely. So they've got a package called, last time I think you spoke with them, it was called the NTT App and API Shield. Now they've renamed it to NTT Edge Shield. So they go to market with that, with an API assessment, and hopefully they get to implement the solution as well.
Yeah. And actually part of that interview, they were showing off a robot.
Yes.
That had cameras all around it and could start to identify things. So I see where that edge play is now as well. That's pretty cool. And otherwise, as I walk the floor, I know walking the floor previously at a Black Hat or an RSA, you would see a lot of vendors talk about API security a lot. It seems like here, maybe F5 is one of the ones that's kind of leading that message. I didn't actually see a whole lot of other ones leading with that message at all. They just kind of had generic messages, but we're really doubling down on app and API security.
Yeah. I think perhaps the other vendors are focusing on maybe other areas, but we feel very strongly, from all the customer interactions we see, everyone's looking for an API solution, API security. And there are two different segments that we feel that we are strongly aligned with. The user to app and the app to app side. I think we are very uniquely positioned today to be able to address both the user to app API and the app to app API. Most of the solutions out there can only address one of them. And it's primarily the user to app.
Yeah. And you know what's cool about the F5 booth over here that you guys have done is the not even electronic, but you guys just printed off the architectures or had it printed across a wall. And I thought about it at first and I was like, that's kind of old school in that it's there, but it's there, people can point to it a lot easier, and I think people are just kind of hesitant to point to screens or like point at screens and use their finger on screens.
You're right.
But I think it makes it very tactile. It's kind of like you're in a meeting room with your colleagues and you're working stuff out on a whiteboard where you would be touching something like that.
Yeah.
It's white.
Yeah.
Like I got that feel from it, like,
Yeah.
hey, we're engineers working together on something.
Correct.
I don't know if you guys thought it through in that way, but I like
But
that.
you made a very good point, because if you touch a screen, usually you leave your fingerprint. But on the whiteboard, you don't get any fingerprints all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So I think it worked out really well, and it allows us to communicate where F5 plays in the customer's architecture, if you like. So the whiteboard really helps. But I think more importantly, we feel very strongly in having a conversation with our customers about architecture, because that's where F5 strength comes through. We adopted the global site and application architecture, the GSA.
Yeah.
And the GSA architecture makes it easier for us to explain how F5 can fit into a customer environment, because they are generic tiers, right, in a data plane. And with a diagram in a board, it makes us able to explain that's why you have G, S, and A, and that's where F5 Distributed Cloud plays in G. S is Big IP, and Nginx is in the app tier.
Yep.
So with these three products that we have all integrated in one diagram, and they all work together, right, through infrastructure as code automation, all the distributed cloud console concept. It works really well for our customers to understand where we help them to play.
Yeah, that's awesome. For folks that want a little background on that as well, go check out my Brightboard lesson, and it's called Adaptive Apps. It's not called GSA, but the term GSA is in there. So we have a global tier for addressing applications externally or from the outside, and then you have a site tier, so each of your sites has application services, and then from an application infrastructure perspective, the services that we offer there as well. So good plug for that. Glad that we
Thanks
took
for that
you on
asset. We use that a lot, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's what it's there for. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Very cool. Thank you very much, Chin, for this education on Singapore. I love actually going to these cities and actually learning more about what's going on in the city.
It's the Singapore
and,
culture, yeah.
Yeah, things I should know. And glad I have somebody to teach me not only about the technology in the area, but also about local culture as well. So thank you very
Glad to
much,
do that.
Chin. Awesome. So we've got lots of content this week, so check out our playlist for GovWare 2023. Like, subscribe, follow, all those things, and otherwise we will see you on the next one. Bye now.